Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gum Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Sam Sarasvati Namaha. Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryandam Vande Guru Paramparam. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavandau Punah Punaham Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We'll chant the 4 verses of Sadhana Panchakam together. Vedo nityamadhiyatam taduditam karma svanushthiyatam tene sasya vidhiyatam apachitihi kamye matistyajyatam papoghah paridhuyatam Bhavasukhe dosho nusandhiyatam Atmecha vyavasiyatam nijagrihat turnam vinirgamyatam Sangasatsu vidhiyatam bhagavato bhaktir dridhadhiyatam Shandyadih parichiyatam dridhataram karmashu santyajyatam sadvidvanupasrapyatam pratidinam tatpaduke sevyetam brahmaikaksharam shruti-shiro vakyam samakarnyatam Vakyarthascha vicharyatam Shruti-shirah pakshas samashriyatam Dustarkat suviramyatam Shruti-madastarko nu sandhiyatam Brahmasmidi vibhavyatam Aharahar garva parityajyatam Madirujyatam Pudajane Vadav Parityajyatam Kshudvyadhischa Chikitsyatam Pratidinam Bhikshaushadham Bhujyatam Swadvannam Natu Yachyatam Vidhivashat Praptena Santushyatam Shitoshnadi Vishahyatam Natu Vridha Vakyam Samuchayyatam Audasinyam Abhipsyatam Janakripa Naishturyam. The 4th verse is very important for all the sadhakas, as this verse is giving us practical tips for our spiritual life. Starting from the attitude towards the food and pointing out the 3 kinds of tapas: Sharirika tapas, Vachika tapas and manasika tapas. Austerity in the level of body, speech and mind. Shitoshnadi vishahyatam, mainly in the side as a sharirika tapas. Nadu vridhavakyam samuchchayadyatam, as the vachika tapas. Now comes the manasika tapas. See, we are living in a society. We cannot escape into some places a solitude. We are not yet ready. When we are ready, then Bhagavan will say, now retire. Until that, we have to live in the society, we have to live in the community, we have to live in house, wherever we are staying, institutions, ashrams, wherever we are. There should be some mental adjustments which will help us to focus more on our spiritual practice. When you read these two instructions, people may feel that we are becoming anti-social. It's not so. The next two instructions may sound, but the truth is not that. Because now we are not just a common man whose life mission is to enjoy the worldly pleasures. We have left it long back. Our only one goal is now moksha. See, this instruction is not given to common people of the world. How they should live in the world? They should have so much of love and so much of involvement with the world and all that. That's okay, no problem. But once we choose this path of self-inquiry, once we want to really experience our true nature, then we should take up some measures in our mental level, some adjustments in our mental level, so that we can move forward. That's why first instruction is audasinyam abhipsyatam. Audasinyam abhipsyatam. As I was pointing out that day also, English language is limited in many ways. Because unless one culture is there in that land, the language cannot express, something which is not there. So, what is audasinyam? The word which used to denote audasinya is indifference. Audasinyam abhipsyatam. If you see Gurudev's commentary, Gurudev is telling, be indifferent. That's what word. That's a word which is there in English. And we may feel very, what is this? Be indifferent means, that's why, because what is let us start from there, be indifferent to the world. Okay? But the word, in Sanskrit word, doesn't mean indifferent. There is not a word in English which can show the meaning of the word audasinya. The son of Guru Nanak, Chandradev, he started a path of spiritual life known as Udasina Panth. Have you heard about it? North India, it is there. Udasina Panth. Means the path of Audasinya. Do you mean that they are all indifferent to the world? That is not the meaning. The word meaning of Audasinyam is Ut Asina. Ut asina. The bhava of ut asina is known as audasinya. What do you mean by ut? To rise. Ut means to rise. Asina, to sit. So ut asina means the rise and sit. A state where we have risen from the, what is happening and be seated. Be seated in a state where develop the ability to be a witness. That's the meaning of actually audasinya. Not indifferent. When we hear the word indifferent, it's very, So that's not the meaning. Indifferent means not that somebody is suffering, we are indifferent to them. No. See, in our life, in somebody's life, things will happen, good, bad, everything will happen. We should have the mental ability to rise above and then watch what is happening. What is this audasinya? The audasinya is like the attitude of a lifeguard who is in a beach. When we go to a beach, there will be a lifeguard. They are sitting above everyone. Why they sit above? So they can watch everything. There, some people will be, dancing, some people will be playing volleyball, some people will be building castles, so many things. Some people will be swimming. So many things are happening. If the lifeguard also come down and then take part in these activities, he will not be able to do what he is supposed to do. That is known as ut asina. Audasinya is not indifference like, jo kuch hoga. Rise above, when whatever is happening in our life, rise above and watch. The ability to watch different situations of life is known as audasinya. That was the pantha, that was the path started by Bhagwan Chandradev. That's the audasina pantha. So, audasinya is a very, 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 very important aspect in our spiritual life. What is that? That is giving focus. Now, let us focus on our goal and give up our thoughts, mental space in unimportant things. See, if we start to worry, if we start to think about, we start to get involved with small things, day to day, small things, then it is difficult for us to rise. We will not able to reach our goal. So what is audasinya? Audasinya is to fix the mind in the goal and rise above the day-to-day, activities, whether good or bad. It's like in India, we have different kinds of trains. There's one train known as local. It starts from one station and it may reach the goal after 5-6 hours, where an express train can cover in 1 hour. Why? Because the local stops in each and every station and then going. It takes 5-6 hours. So what is audasinya? Audasinya is to be like the express train. Don't stop in between small stations. Let us start and finish. So that attitude. So please don't misunderstand the word indifference, because there is no other word to use. The word is used as indifference, okay? So it is not indifference, like, audasinyam abhipsyatam. Be indifferent to little things of the world. Let it happen. Whatever jo hai, No, whatever minimum attention we have to give, we should give. And then move on. Let not such small things affect our spiritual journey. This is a very important instruction for all of us. Whether we are living in the ashram, whether we go back to our houses, things will be happening. We cannot stop the world. Good, bad, things will happen. Give minimum importance to, give minimum mind space to those things, because that is not our goal. Our goal is to realize the Supreme Brahman. Ishwaranubhuti. Not only to know that Ishvara is there, but to have the realization of the Lord, the realization of our own self. That is our goal. And all these things will be happening every time, everywhere. That's the world. Anityam asugham lokam. That is the nature of the world. So good things will be happening, bad things will be happening. As the part of society, we may also have to give some time. But don't get attached with good or bad. That's the meaning. Do what we have to do. So having a sense of objectivity while doing right, yet remaining emotionally unattached. Shastra is not telling don't do good, don't do seva, don't do sarva. Do everything. But what happens to us is we get emotionally attached. We see that a person is suffering and then we start to serve the person. But don't get emotionally attached, because that attachment will deviate us from the path. So what is this audasinya? It is maintaining a fine line between being kind. It's not that Shruti is not telling us don't be kind. Be kind, be caring, be loving, be sympathetic. But never get emotionally attached. If we get emotionally attached to places, people, and different activities, what is happening, then what happens? We tend to take wrong decisions. When we do that, that will cause bondage. That bondage will keep suffering. So, we have done this. Many lives we have done this. Now, let us rise above. मेरा है काम ईश्वर से, जगत रूटे तो रूटने दो. It's not, we have no sympathy, we have no love. No, everything is there. But this should be very careful. We should be very careful that we do all seva, we do all kinds of whatever is needed, but we are not emotionally getting attached. This is the warning. This is the instruction. Okay? So, develop that understanding and maturity. Developing the understanding and maturity, we live in the world. What we are supposed to do, we do everything, but we are not attached. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna gives an example for this. So, he says, see, do you know jackfruit? To cut jackfruit, it's very difficult because there is a kind of gum which will, stick to our hands. So, what we should do first? Apply oil and then cut. So, this is audasinyata. This applying oil on our hand is audasinya. Okay? And then do. So that we are not get attached and then suffer. Audasinyam abhipsyatam. Respond responsibly. Don't react. So that is one as audasenyam. The same idea we will learn again as uparati. When we study the other Vedantic text, they use the word uparati to denote this understanding of audasenyam. So, audasenyam abhipsyata. We be in the world, but not of the world. The boat should be in the water, but the water should not come into the boat. That is known as audasenyam abhipsyatam. Be in the world, but the world should not be inside us. For that, we need, great... we should be aware about ourselves. We should focus on our goal so that we can develop this audasenyam. Very, very important spiritual practice. Now comes another instruction which may sound harsher. See, many times people criticize our religion, our way of thinking, way of life, because they do not understand what those words mean. So if somebody is just see this, translation, audasenyam abhipsyatam, be indifferent. The impact can be very bad. But what it actually means is something else, because the language has limitations. Now comes another instruction which may sound harsher than audasenyam. What is that? Jana krupa naishturyam utsrijyatam. Jana krupa naishturyam utsrijyatam. Take and then give up. Totally give up. Utsrijyatam. Uproot. Utsrijyatam. Give up totally. What? Jana krupa naishturya. Krupa and naishturya. Krupa, kindness. Naishturya, harshness. Give up, save yourself from the kindness and harshness of people. This has to be viewed in two ways. One is Jana Krupa Naishturya. This is one first stage is Jana Krupa means Janebhyaha Krupa Naishturya. When we are in the world, especially when we are in the spiritual path, the society will respond to us in two ways. Whether our family, whether it is the society, that society will respond to us in two ways. One is Krupa, another is Naishturya. Sometimes people feel pity for us. Oh, they have all gone to that ashram. We do not know what is happening to them. I think something happened to their mind only, Mad people. Sometimes they become so compassionate. Sometimes they become so harsh. That's how it is. Because the world will not know what is happening with us. The world cannot understand. The world will be thinking, why these people are, they have everything, then why they have to... So most of us sannyasins, people think that we take sannyas because of some love failure. Really, they ask us, Swamiji, what happened? What happened means, why? This all movies, etc. They show like that some love failure happened and then they go to become sannyasins. That's because the people can't understand. Why? That person is educated, from a good family, everything is there. Why they should give up everything and go? No, because the way the world think, It's all based on, their priorities are different. So they can't understand why these people have gone to ashram for a year. So sometimes they show us so much of compassion. Kripa. Oh, pava. Kya ho gaya unka? Or harshness. What kind of people give up their duties and went somewhere? Utsrijyata. Don't even pay attention to that. People will be telling whatever they want to say. Okay, so when you listen to them, don't try to answer them or convince them or anything. Okay, you say, if they say that, oh, Pavam, you are so, you say, okay. Or if you say you are a madman, okay, no problem. Whatever you want to say, you say, because this is my life and I will live the life set on my terms, not your terms. So, Jana Kripa, Jananam Kripa, Jananam Kripa, the compassion of people, the harshness of people, Kripa and Naishturya. Naishturya, Nishturata. Both give up. This is a great Manapamanayos Tulya. Sometimes people will honor you. Oh, what a good man. He has gone to the ashram and living. Or they will disrespect you. Mana apamanayoho tulyaha. Doesn't matter what people say. Today they may be worshipping you. Tomorrow the same person will censure you. This is the world. So don't give that much importance to the world. Jo hai wo hai. Jaisa hai vaisa hai. Okay? Whatever is there, whatever they think, let them do, let them think, whatever they want to think, let it never affect ours. That's the thing. Jana Kripa Naishturyam Utsrijyatam. Okay? That is one. The second meaning of Jana Kripa is, what is the first meaning? Jananam Kripa. The compassion and the harshness of people. Utsrijyatam. Don't give much importance to that. Okay. Why? As we said, we discussed, it doesn't matter. Second, if we start to give importance to that, we shall never be able to come out. We'll be trapped. Now comes the second thing, Janakripa Naishturyam. The second meaning of Janakripa is Janeshu Kripa and Naishturya Usrajya. Give up Kripa and Naishturya in people. First one what we saw was how the society see us and respond to us. Second is how should be our response to the world. What is the response? Already said, audasiniam. What do you mean by this audasiniam? Audasinia is Janeshu Kripa Naishturyam Utsrijyatam. Give up Kripa and Nishturata towards the society and people. This may be really shocking, huh? What are you telling? We should not have compassion for people? What it means is, sometimes we mix up things and mess up. Most of the time, we think that we are doing something, but actually we are doing something very opposite. For example, we say that, I love this man or this person. I love this person, but then, this love is giving me so much of suffering. Sometimes, you all will know much better than me. So we think that we love a person and then, so much of suffering comes out of that love. Why? How can such a bad experience comes out of a good thing? If love is good, they say, no, love is God and all that. If love is good, love is God, how can suffering comes out of love? Have you thought about it? Says, what we call as love is actually attachment, not love. We are attached to a person and then we think that we love the person. No, what is the difference between love and attachment? We always say, no, love and attachment. It always goes together. We always say, the love and attachment. The love and attachment are not one and the same. They are two things. What is that? What is love? Love is that which was there in the heart of gopis towards Krishna. It's believed, the Ranis, the queens of Bhagavan, they were wondering why all these gopis are given so much of importance. Not us. We are the wives of Krishna, but always they talk about gopis. Why? So Bhagavan wanted to show them what is that. One day Bhagavan said, I'm having such a bad headache. My head is, now it'll break. Oh my God. Then Narada came there. They all planned. So Narada came and said, oh Bhagavan, there is only one medicine for this. What is the medicine? The padarenu of those people who love you. The sand, the dust of the feet of those people who love you. If you apply the dust of their feet on your head, you will be okay. And all the Ranis were there. So Narada looked at them. They all ran away. Why? Think about, your padarenu, your dust of the feet is putting on Bhagavan's head. How can this possible? So they all ran away. And Narada went to Gopikas and said, Krishna is suffering with such a headache. There's only one medicine, that is the padarenu of his beloveds. They all stood, take hours. But then Bhagavan Narada said, if they will keep your padarenu on Bhagavan's head, you will go to hell. They said, for Krishna, we can go to any hell. No problem. So this is love. What is love? Love is tat sukha sukhitvam. What is love? Love is tat sukha sukhitvam. When we find happiness in the happiness of our beloved, we find happiness in the happiness of the beloved, that is sukha, that is love, that is prema. What is attachment? Attachment is swasukha sukhitva. We say that we love this person for our sake. We need comforts. We need different kinds of enjoyments. And this person is only a tool for our happiness. So when I love a person to gain that fulfillment for myself, that is known as attachment. That is something which will bind us. So here, Bhagavan is talking about that, kripa, the attachment. Attachment towards people and places and things and animals, all that. It's not that, Bhagavan is not telling don't love. Bhagavan is telling don't get attached. But it is very difficult for us. Why? Because we are all self-centered people. I will not call selfish. In a Vedantic term is self-centered people. Means all of us actually want our happiness only. As long as our happiness is intact, everything is okay. So Bhagavan is giving us this advice. Jana Krupa, Janeshu Krupa. Means, and Naishtudya. When we love people for something, if it doesn't happen, then Naishtudya. Then we'll get annoyed. We become angry. We become harsh. That's why when we look at our own life, we see that we are very harsh to people who are close to us. Whether it is a husband or a wife or a child, etc. We are very harsh to them, but we are very good to others. Why? Because the love has changed into attachment, and attachment causes high expectations, and those expectations cannot be fulfilled by everyone at every time, so that it changes into harshness. Jana kripa naishturyam utsrijyata. Give up. Give up expecting from people, places. I thought that ashramam will be like this. This is just an expectation. Nothing can meet our expectations. Okay? Take the world as it is and move forward. Because we have nothing to do with the world. The world we need just so that we can continue our journey. That's all. For a sadhaka, the world is not important. For a sadhaka, the goal is important. And the world is only a platform for us. Don't get attached with the platform. In the high jump, we use a pole to rise. So we need that. But if we get attached with it, then we'll fail. At a time, we have to give it up and jump. So, Jana Kripa Naishturyam Utsrijyata. Give up attachment with the world. The attachment will cause, bondage and suffering. So, Jana Kripa Naishturyam Utsrijyata. There's beautiful stories in our Purana. One story is of the Kripa. See, the entire Puranic stories are meant to show us these great ideas. Our land, where we are living, this land's name was Ajanabha. The ancient name of India is Ajanabha. That was the name. And then came a great king named Bharata. It's a great king named Bharata. And after the Bharata ruled and unified this great land, this land started to be called as Bharata. Okay, Bharatam, that's the name, the ancient name. The true name of India is Bharatam, not India. India is a name which was given by the foreigners. So those people who are living on the banks of Sindhu, the Persians cannot pronounce Sindhu, they changed into Indus. And those people who are living on the shores of Indus were known as Indian. Okay, this is a foreign word to denote our land. Our true name of our land is Bharatam. Before that it was Ajanabha. Why Bharatam? The spiritual meaning is Bhasi Ramate iti Bharatam. Means the land which rejoices in light. Bhas, Bha. Bha means light. Ramate, which rejoice. The land which rejoices in the inner light is known as Bharata. That is the spiritual meaning. But historically, this land came to known as Bharata after Bharata. Such a great king he was. And in order to our tradition, after he ruled for many, many years, when the time came, he gave the kingdom to his son and he retired. He went and lived on the banks of Gandaki river. The Gandaki river is in Nepal. See, Nepal, these are all part of Bharatavarsha, okay? So, he was living there, living a very pious life, an austere life. He was the king, he was the emperor of India, but then gave up everything, was staying in a small hut on the banks of this river, doing his tapas. One day every day he goes to the Gandaki river to take bath and do the Sandhya Vandanadi. So he was taking bath and doing the Sandhya Vandana. Then he saw something. The other bank of the river, there was a deer, a mriga, a pregnant deer. It came to drink water from the river, and it heard the roar of a lion just behind her. And the deer got frightened that, the lion will jump on her. So what she did, she jumped into the river. Because from behind she heard this roar, so she jumped into the river, and with that fear and then excitement, etc., she gave birth to a baby and died. And this small baby was floating and then drifting away in the river. Bharata saw this. He jumped into the river, took this, brought it to the shore and took care of that baby deer. This much is very perfect. But then, slowly, the Bharata, the emperor of India, who had given up the beautiful palace and the family and everything, got attached with this deer. And he was feeding them and then, always thinking what will happen to this deer. If it goes to the forest, somebody might capture it, etc., etc., etc. And that last moment came to him. He was already old, and he was so much of, filled with anxiety, thinking, what will happen to my deer if I die? Thinking about this deer, the great emperor passed away. Did they say that what will be our last thought, according will be our next janma. So, because this man was thinking about the deer, he was born as a deer. Think about that. Who? The son of Sakshat, the Rishabhadev, son of the great king, the emperor, was born as a deer in the forest. But because of his tapas, nothing will go waste. He could remember what happened in the last birth. So he went to an ashram and stayed and then, gave up that life, and then he was reborn as Jadabharata. That is something else. So what I want to see, why this such a great man was forced to be born as a deer? Because of the Kripa. See, Shastra is not telling, don't save the jiva, don't take care of them. That's okay. But what happens to us is, if we get emotionally attached, that emotional attachment will force us to compromise values of life. And when we start to compromise the values, then we will fall. So in order to show us this Kripa Utsrijanam, please understand the Shastra is not talking don't be kind, loving, etc. Be kind, be loving, but never be emotionally attached, because that attachment will bring us downfall. This is about Kripa. Next is about Naishturyam. Naishturya, harshness towards the world. If we are very harsh to the world, if we are always, very arrogant, we always become very angry with people, angry with things, we are very harsh, we think that we are showing that we are tough. People understand this is a weak person. It is very easy to be angry. It is very difficult to be calm at situations. So when we show more and more anger and arrogance, please understand we are not showing that we are strong people, we are tough people, but we are actually showing that we are very weak inside. Says, Janeshu Naishturyam Utsrajyatam. Just like how we should give up Kripa, we should be able to give up Naishturyam. Naishturyam, Nishturata. Nishturata, harshness. We should not be harsh also. There was a king named Nahusha. So there was something happened in the Devaloka, and Indra has to go and then hide himself. And nobody knows where Indra is. The story is very long, so I'm cutting it short. So now there is no Indra. They tried to find him. He was not available. His mobile was switched off. So they do not know where he is. Now, Devatas, see, if the Prime Minister is absent, the cabinet cannot work. If President is not there, cabinet can work. But when the Prime Minister is not there, most of the decision has to be, directly or indirectly coming from the Prime Minister. And the Prime Minister is not there, the entire structure will collapse. I'm talking about Indian system, okay? In other places, maybe President is the head. Okay, so if the Prime Minister is not there, then what happens? They have to find somebody else. Indra is not available. Now they have to keep somebody in the place of Indra. And just anybody cannot come into that place. He should have that much of punya. So they opened the yellow pages and looked, who is capable for this? And then they found that there is one person in the earth who has done 1,000 Ashwamedhas. To become Indra, you have to do only 100 Ashwamedhas. There is a person who has done 1,000 Ashwamedhas. That means 10 times more powerful. And they decided, we should invite him to be the Indra. So they went into the earth and then said, his name was Nahusha. Nahusha was his name. He was the father of Yayati, Chandramya Raja. So he said, no, I am a human being. I am living in this world. I have, my family and my obligations to the kingdom, etc. But said, no, see, we are inviting you just for a few, some time. We will search the search for Indra will be going on, but until we find Indra, you should be the Indra. Okay. Nahusha was risen to the Indra Padavi, and he was seated there, and all those devatas whom he was worshipping, Agni, Yama, Varuna, they are all coming and doing namaskar to him. Think about that situation. And slowly, slowly, he started to feel that I'm a great person. The arrogance came to him. As arrogance came to him, he started to become harsh. He started to order. And then he fell in love with Sachi Devi. And he wanted to, because I am Indra, she should be my wife. Then they understood that this is the time of his fall. Now, how to do this? So Indrani told Nahusha, see, you are welcome to my palace, but when you come, you should come in a palanquin carried by Saptarshis. He said, oh yes, he called Saptarshis, come. They came. Said, now you carry me. And they were carrying this palanquin and because Indra, his order has to be fulfilled, so they are carrying him, but the palanquin going like this. One side was down, and he was hanging onto the palanquin, so otherwise he will fall. He looked down and saw that those days, one of the Saptarshis was Agastya. And Agastya was a very short person. And the others are all tall, 7 feet, and then where he is carrying, it will go down. And Nahusha became so angry, and he became so harsh, and then he, hit Agastya with his leg, and said, Sarpa, Sarpa. Sarpa, Sarpa means, go fast, go fast. Agastya looked at him and said, Sarpo Bhava. You are so arrogant to hit me. Okay, you be a snake. One moment, Nahusha was the king of the Devatas. Next moment, he became a Paitan and was fallen into the Vindhyadavi. That's it. So this is what happens. That's why he says, Jana Krupa Naishtudyam Utsrityata. We should be balanced. A balanced life. Don't be too get involved or don't become too harsh to people. Also, when the people also shows us compassion and harshness, don't get disturbed. I think every day we should read these instructions until and unless we realize every day, because these are the situations which are going to pop up in our life. Sometimes, kripa, sometimes harshness, sometimes good, sometimes bad, sometimes people respect, sometimes people disrespect, sometimes people speak to us so lovingly, sometimes they speak us with, they scold us, they shout at us. This all will happen. So, what we should do? We should detach from the mind and attach to the Lord. Somebody asked Puja Gurudev, Gurudev was about to enter to the train. Somebody asked Gurudev, give me the entire spiritual wisdom in 2 words. Gurudev told her, attach and detach. Attach to the Lord, detach from the world. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.